All right. Hey guys, welcome back to another solo RPG workshop number three, I believe. Now, I guess that's the name of the show, but the reason why you're looking at my face right now is because my camera jib, the Rode mic holder, it finally broke. The base came off, and it's no good. And that thing was not cheap when I bought it some time ago. So I am now talking to you guys like I'm in a business meeting. So let's go over today's numbers. First off, we have a couple D20s. So no, in this episode, I want to discuss a few things because of that. Because of this thing broke on me, it made me think of a different approach to maybe a different approach to my videos. So I was prepping for the lone wolf. This thing broke. I'm like, God damn it. Uh, I rolled a critical failure on that. And I was thinking, well, it does leave me in a bind because now when I record, I don't have a tripod that can really focus on the table because most of my videos were on the table. My content, my notes, and I changed it practically every time. Something was always different, different dice tray. I have like a bunch of different dice trays. I have this wooden one. I have the smaller trays. I have the Pathfinder, and even though I don't play Pathfinder, I just like the Pathfinder one because it has that little world on it. But so I may just have to do these more often with the little filter effect and background blur. God, I feel like I'm in a business meeting over Zoom or something. But this made me think of the style of doing these videos. And if I do them like this, which there will be times I do, I'll just have to be very descriptive of what I'm doing and what I'm looking at. And that will take away a lot from the role play. So I thought of something. I'm going to make my own approach, my own method of role play, and I'm going to call it macro play. So, what macro play is, it's lesser emphasis on the role play and focus on the mechanics and the dice rolling and pushing the character through the adventure at a faster pace, if that makes sense. Because again, I do it often where I go on these tangents or I focus very much on the dialogue, and it kind of just I don't know why it drowns me out. Like, yes, I'm very new to RPGing since last year, but the role play thing is fun. However, I really do prefer to focus on the dice rolls and mechanics and like going through these steps, going through a step-by-step process of taking the character, the player character, and advancing them through the quest. So, how would this work in a video? Well, macro play, as I'm mentioning, it would be um, generalizing a lot of things. So instead of, for example, my character Basil here, which I have prepped for Scarlet Heroes FYI for episode 10 officially, which I will record most likely tomorrow, would be, I think for me, in my eyes, general role play would be, okay, Basil is walking up to the tavern. He looks at the tavern. It looks pretty lively. There's people inside. He opens the door. There's roughly maybe a full house, pretty packed. So he's looking around for an empty table, not a lot of choices, no roll required. He walks up to the bartender. The room is the tavern's very bright. It's sunny out, so there's a lot of light rays going through the windows and the shades and the curtains. There's a mixture of different races of people. They got dwarves, they got elves. It's a full crowd of fellow adventurers and locals. There is some people at the bar. There's the bartender who owns the place. His name is Jeffries or Sam Elliott or something like that. You walk up to Sam Elliott and he looks at you, turns to the character Basil. He's like, "What can I get you?" And I'm like, "I'll have 1 pint of water," or something like that. That's basically how I see it. Just a very general, not too general, but a simple approach to role play that includes the details of the environment, what's happened to the player character, my player character is going to do as I'm solo role playing. But because of the current circumstances, I was thinking of, and also to speed it up, not too fast, but to kind of push through. I was thinking of this macro play. Basil sees a tavern in the town of Everschmier. He enters the tavern. We can roll. How many people are in this tavern? Is it packed? Yes, it's packed. Okay. Anybody of interest in the tavern? Another dice roll. Yes. Okay. There are a few guards that are after enjoying a drink after their shift. Okay. We can approach them later. Is the bartender currently available to speak to? I roll dice. No, they're busy cleaning up a spill. Darn. Okay, so Basil's going to sit down in an open chair. Is there an open chair? Dice roll. Yes. Okay, so we sit in the corner of the bar. We sit there. Does anything happen while we wait? Roll the dice. Yes. Let's say a couple of thieves break in or bust in, a couple of rowdy individuals bust in, and we observe. Do we want to take part? That's our character choice, maybe. Yay or nay? Nay. We're gonna keep our distance. Bartenders, is the bartender available now after these rowdy individuals enter and start causing a ruckus? The guards probably get into a fight. Yes, the bartender is now available. Just for a second. We flag him down. That's what I mean by macro play. We can keep going saying that we ask the bartender for if there's any work, if there's any jobs, if they need help with anything, we're just really bored, we want to do something. Or if there's been any rumors in the town lately, yes, a couple of the farmers' pigs have gone missing, or there's been skeletons walking around the streets at night, hauntings. Okay, we'll take the quest. He says, okay, well, if you do this quest, you'll be rewarded with a free pint of ale or something like that. Okay. We leave the tavern, the scuffle's still happening, we get bumped in, and we now have to defend ourselves. The drunks get into a fight, we have an encounter. The guards might help. We deal with these guys, we do the dice roll with the encounter, if it goes that far, that is. If not, we can ignore the rowdiness and we leave. We leave the tavern. That's what I mean by macro play. And also like travel. Let's say we leave the tavern, we're in town. Is there anything we want to do? We want to go visit a shop. Okay, we'll go to shop A. We'll buy some things. Do they have this available? Sword. Short sword. Okay. So we'll buy a short sword. For how much? We'll roll dice. 25 gold. We buy it, add to my inventory, call it a day. We leave the town. Now we're doing this kind of theater of the mind hex crawl. All right, we're a couple miles out. How far is this? Well, let's say the bartender told us that the farm is just outside of town. Okay, well, it's going to be, let's say, like we roll a d4. It's a 4 minute walk. Okay, 4 minutes. Does anything happen within those 4 minutes? Unlikely. Roll a dice. Nothing happens. We encounter the farm, and that's where we can go on the general play. So that's how I see macro play. It takes away a lot of the burden of describing the environment and kind of dragging out the story a bit. That might shy some people away. I completely understand. I know a lot of my viewers love like in solo play, you get to take the role on as the dungeon master, game master, and you describe everything around your character. But for me, it's becoming a real big burden, and I don't want it to lower my expectations before I start recording, making these videos. I want to have fun. That's all I really care about. And I want to try different engines like Scarlet Heroes, for example. So, and since I've been doing the Lone Wolf for 10 episodes, up to 10 episodes now, with Maze Rats, and Maze Rats is very simple, my Maze hack, and I've been on and off with the macro play method and actual role play where I'm talking to the character's voice and what they're going to say and set word by word compared to just being like, okay, Basil is talking to the guard. Does it go as planned? Can we convince the guard that Damaris is innocent? No, he's stubborn. Okay, so I'm not mentioning every word by word. Like I'm not keep notes of all of it. I'm just saying that it didn't go as planned. So we have to roll for to convince him. Do we convince him? Yes. Okay. We convinced him, but it's a partial success, which means he wants proof. So that's when we went on a whole little quest to find Scab. We defeated him. Unfortunately, we killed him, but we found the evidence on him to prove that he was the one who killed the guard. We went back to the captain. We proved her innocence. Success. We win. Well, quest is complete. That's how macroplay and macroplay for me it's a blend of role play, but mostly simplification of the process where I generalize what I want to happen in around the character, what I generalize what I want the player character to do. I generalize what the character will say to other NPCs. Pretty much that's it. And I want more dice rolling. And I know that there's a lot of people that prefer when it comes to role playing and you're in the zone as the game master, you want less dice rolling. You want to just spark like creativity. You want actions to be just from your gut. You don't want to dice roll every single thing. Like, is this a monster? No, must be a person. Is this a person, a magic user? No, must be just a, maybe it's just a thief. Is this thief 20 plus years old? Yes. Like, you don't have to roll for every single detail. You can just make it up. It's a monster who it can transform and look like a human that tricks people and it kills you, stuff like that. So that's how I'm thinking about doing the macro play as an approach to not like shorten my videos, but be able to do more for my player character within 1 hour. Because I don't take a lot of notes. I don't take a lot of notes anymore. I used to. You can see in my earlier videos, when I was typing them out on the computer, I was writing them down. It was practically solo journaling, which is a category of RPG solo play. It is, and it's widely respected. It is a very fun method to play, but I kind of shied away from it. I do have a tendency to take too many notes, and it slows down the video for me and for you because my videos are not edited. No duh. I don't have time, and I don't really want to edit my videos. I want to have it being in this one go because it's convenient. Like, I can prep for the video, kind of think about what's going to happen, start recording. I do the video. I might mess up a few things on the intro, so I'll do another take. And then if I feel like it went well, I'll upload it. That's it. Minimal editing. And that's why it helps me make these videos quick enough to a day-to-day upload or, every other day. And, I have my day job, come home, think about what to do, the video. I don't have time to do like an hour of editing and like I have to cut through the videos like, oh, there's a mistake there, take out that dead space. At the same time, the con of that is that it won't be appealing to a large uh, percentage of my audience, a potential audience, because people on YouTube, a lot of viewers love quick and fast videos, and there are some very reputable YouTubers in solo RPGing who edit and they have a higher budget. I don't have that capability. I have editing software, but I don't have the time, and I just don't want to have that much. I don't want to put that much effort into editing. And then again, that might be a downer for some people, but for me, I like doing it like this. I love doing it the live to record, like record to post. I like that. And it shows for me, I have to be I have to be mm, less in the mistakes, which I do have mistakes, but it challenges me to keep going in my videos. At least to me it does. And now that I'm face to face with you guys, I can at least show more character. You can see more of myself, and you can see my emotional connection to my voice when I'm playing the game. You don't just see my hands and I'm just sitting there tapping the pencil, you know, and I'm talking, I'm leaning back, and all you see is dead space. All you see is the content on my table. But the downside to this is that you don't see the content on the table because I don't have a secondary camera. I can just put the camera down to the dice. So I really have to describe what I'm doing because of these burdens I have. My videos are not edited. You can't see the dice tray anymore. It's just my ugly mug. On the flip side, it's more interaction with you guys, and that's actually great. And this is fantastic for me because again, not only is this channel an experiment, let's also test for myself because I'm a very introvert. Like, I'm not very outgoing. I'm not an extrovert. I'm not out there a lot. I'm not a very social person. That's pretty evident. But in playing solo RPGing, I feel like a totally different person, and I hope it shows because I do absolutely love this hobby. It can be annoying at times. It can be challenging at times. And the times of day I'm at work or coming home, I'm just so eager to try it. And it's very rare, but there are times like I'm so excited to play Dungeon World or whatever Scarlet Heroes, and I do it. I'm like, no, this didn't work out. But I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people. I'm really sure it's the same for people with other hobbies instead of RPGing. Like, whatever you guys do, 3D printing or collecting cards or going to the gym or whatever you got to do, whatever your hobby is, going out for a run, a hike, drawing, painting, all that stuff, painting miniatures, all this crazy, anything. I'm sure if you overhype it for yourself, it can take away from the experience when you actually do it. And for me, I find this middle ground where I'm excited, but I'm like, I gotta tone it down a bit because it can take away from the experience. Right? I sit here, I'm like, ah, crap, I destroyed it for myself. It's like when you overhype a movie, and I see movies a lot. Like I go at least a few times a week. I'm still a theater. I still visit theaters. I love going to the movies in person. I still prefer that compared to streaming. I don't have a big TV, so I prefer seeing it in the theaters. And if you guys prefer at home, totally fine. I have a couple streaming networks I subscribe to, but I still prefer seeing movies in theaters. I just love going to movies. My whole life I have. And when you overhype a movie for yourself, and like the trailer looks great, you see the advertising, you see the posters, see the online chatter about it, and then you actually get to the movie and it's like, ah, crap, this is okay. It's like I overhyped it, and the movie actually could be fantastic. Critics can love it, audience score loves it, but you're like, I thought it was gonna be different, or like I thought it was gonna be more. And there was one movie that I felt like I overhyped it for myself recently, and I walked out, and I never do that. I never walk out of a movie, but I did. So. Yeah. But this channel's not talking about movies. I've tried that before. I try to review material. It's not for me. So, but yeah, that's sorry about that tangent. That will happen often because I feel like when I'm in person, I'm talking to someone, not just myself. Um, but for macro play, I hope it works. Like I have this problem of trying new things a lot, and I never really continue doing it. So I'm not trying to again overexcite myself, increase like make this incredibly crazy high expectations of macro play. Like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna go through the entire quest, keeping it simple, but I'm just trying to keep it grounded. Like, okay, I will try this, and also macro play. I won't shy away from giving names to towns, locations, characters. I will stop that. That's obviously I think that's fairly required in RPGs. Like I have my book here for the Lone Wolf characters and factions, paths, which is threads if you use Mythic, locations, and then notes for like encounters because I can't use my dice that I usually on camera that represent the villain or the enemies of my character and bosses. I can't use it. I have to write it down, tell you guys what I'm doing. Like, okay, enemy number one will be AC of 7 or 8, and we'll have a hit die of 2, 3, 4. Because in Scarlet Heroes, it's very different how enemies are represented. So again, I'm gonna have to talk a lot, but that's good. Again, it challenges me. It helps me out in just talking. That's fantastic. It's like it is like a therapy session for me. Like I can improve on myself if I'm using that in the correct context in the moment. But that's how I see it. So this YouTube channel does serve in several different ways. And with Scarlet Heroes, it is just it's a great system. I like it. I finally did a full read of all the rules and all the mechanics, and I feel like I have it down better this time. And hit dice is actually the health, the points. So that's one thing I messed up in the last demonstration of Scarlet Heroes where I did the test play. I was using conventional HP when the hit dice is actually their hit points. And the method of calculating damage in the game based on your result, one is none, 2 to 5 is 1 point of damage, 6 to 9 is 3, 10 plus is 4 damage. I was not doing that. And now I know. So Um, I hope you guys like the macro play concept. I hope that wasn't too confusing. It basically it's an umbrella of generalization over the entire episode, and I'm looking at this as episodes, like as if you're watching a TV show, um, one that is not really connected to the whole main quest, the whole main world. Because I did read some comments that it is very, it's very accurate in a lot of TV shows that's continuously a story. But for me, it's like each episode, it's kind of isolated, an isolated event within the world, if that makes sense. So, and I guess microplay would be very focused, detailed role play, like down to the nitty gritty, like every single emphasis on every word and the emotion in the character, describing what you see, like what you hear, what you smell, what you're touching. Like there are game masters, I guarantee it, that are like that. And that's fantastic. If you prefer to play games like that or DM, like that. You want the character to be able to see and be in the world in the exact detail that you imagined in prep. That's perfect. For me, trying, again, this is all an idea, this is all an experiment, ongoing, could change in an instant next day, but I want to try where MacroPlay has a lot of dice rolling. So I love rolling dice. Trying the mechanics out, kind of tinkering with them, update my character sheet a lot, like keeping track of notes if I have to, but just kind of progressing, improving Basil, my character, my player character, and just keeping it moving. Not just sitting here and talking about for 15 minutes describing how that potted plant looks or smells, but more so like going from point A to point B or the story arc, the increase in the story, player, and then the quest, then you reach the climax and you're fighting the boss of denouement, the drop, and then the completion of the quest. So overly generalization of all that the whole macro play. So that's how I see macro play. And I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. Right, the audio. So the audio has been a very good concern from a few viewers because I don't have good equipment here to record good quality audio. It sounds like I'm on a phone call with you. What I was trying recently was on that camera that was mounted to the the jib or the mic holder. It was actually a Rode mic holder, a boom arm. But that also busted when it fell off and onto the ground it went. So that camera is gone, and that camera was not cheap either. So I lost a good amount of money in that instance when I was moving it and popped off the leg, camera went down. The camera had a great mic on it, and I was trying it for the past two recorded videos, I think. So now you're hearing is my headset. I have this Bluetooth Shocks thing. This thing's fantastic. Love it. I bought this a year ago, and it has that built-in voice isolation, so you don't hear my loud wall-mounted cheap fan or my creaking chair. I hope you don't hear that. But that's basically what the voice isolation feature does. I think it's actually built into to Mac, I think. But in any event, that's it for the video. And thank you again to the 300 plus subscribers that I just noticed, like 320 actually. It's amazing and it's fantastic. I really do hope you get like mainly you're watching me talk and jabber on, but I really hope you guys are trying solo RPGing yourself. That's another thing I love about this community is that it's not just the YouTuber who's talking and playing and getting it, but it inspires you guys to try. Because you could be watching and you probably should watch an actual talented another YouTuber like Trevor Duvall from Me, Myself, and Die. He was one of the first I found. His first video was 9 tips how to do solo RPG, and he was so enthusiastic and great. The voice actor that got me hooked in. That was the hook, line, and sinker for me. And I found a bunch of other dozens of other channels like Bricks Books and Borders of Bricks Books and Boards. I forgot the name, but that's another great channel. Man Alone. God, there's so many. I'm sorry, I can't think of all the names right now. But there's a culinary, the soloist. There's a bunch of others, but yeah, that's the most content I watch right now on top of my usual YouTube subscriptions. But yeah, there are other YouTubers out there who have a big budget, who have the excitement and the focus, like I feel like I do, but to a greater extent, and you should watch them. So if they inspire you to try solo RPGing, then go for it. If it's something you can do at home, uh, go for it. It's like I love it. Like I regret every moment of my life now that I have never tried this before in RPG in general. Like I really regret it. My problem is I live too much in the past at times. It's just an issue I have. I'm working on it. But like I regret not playing D&D since the 2000s, since I was a teenager. And imagine all that time wasted, or not wasted, I shouldn't say that, lost potential time could have been for my friends and I to play D&D, to play RPG. And I probably would have stumbled onto solo play sometime maybe a year in, because I kind of did stumble into it fairly quickly when I started playing RPGs. But yeah, now I play D&D with, or not D&D, Maze Rats, my campaign, my friend GM Ryan. Um, every week, every weekend or so when we can, because my job is like mostly weekdays, but weekends at times. So, but yeah, that's really it. Again, I'm saying that's really it. I think of something, I keep talking. But I hope you guys do enjoy these solo RPG workshop videos. This is number 3. I will make these once or twice a week because my main content is the actual campaign, the Lone Wolf. But yeah, next episode will be Basil, and I like to use Table Fables for the quest, the Kickstarter quest, and using this when we need to. And the other great thing about MacroPlay, it makes it simpler for me to roll solo RPG because I don't have to focus too much on thinking of like what monster we're going to fight when I just say it's a monster, it's a creature. I'll get its stats, but I don't have the big detail. It's a wolf with a white tail, or it's a dragon with 2 heads, stuff like that. But yeah, my macro play, it's a simplified approach to role play, where it's less emphasis on the role play and more focused on driving the character through an adventure, and following more a step-by-step basis of dice rolling and mechanics involved, if that makes sense. So yeah, Table Fables still, I will use it when I need it, when we need it, and that's it for the video. So hope you enjoyed. Felt like I blabbered on, but I enjoyed it, so I hope you guys did too. Thanks for watching.